Hey, it's Clay Trader, and this will be a video chart on WAVX, Wave Systems Corporation. I followed this one for quite a while. I can't remember the last time I actually did a video chart on it, but past few days, chart has really taken off, and requests have started to pour in. Plus, being it's a chart that I followed for a while, I wanted to get it updated, anyways. And then also you combine that with a nice volume pickup in the last couple of weeks. You can see that it's really picked up pace in terms of what the average volume has been. If you kind of look and just eyeball what you would say the average would be, it's clear that this little section here has picked up pace. Um, so the charts deserves an update. I guess that's the point I'm trying to make. The first thing I want to start off with is just kind of zooming in closer. I will be doing this from a more of a longer term chart perspective because I think that's what most of the players that are in the stock are in it for more of a longer term hold. But from a shorter term, and just for a little lesson, what we got today is a hanging man candle, and these aren't the best things in the world. Now at the same time, don't misconstrue what I'm saying and say, hey, Clay Trader said the whole thing's going to tank now because you got a hanging man. That's not what I'm saying. All I'm saying is, if you had a choice for a type of candle you'd like to see in this position, a hanging man is not what your choice would be. But nonetheless, you got one. So that's going to kind of be the angle I take for annotating the chart here. Do I think there will be a pullback? Yeah, I think there's one in store now after seeing this candle. Do I think it's going to reverse and everything's going to fall apart? I wouldn't say that unless you see a bunch of these support levels start to fail catastrophically, which I'll map out. But if there is a pullback, then nothing to freak out about. The holders in the stock have been through pullbacks before. This was a big pullback here. This was actually a multi-month pullback. But then you can see when it finally broke out here in October, the rest has been great. Went up and did new highs. So hopefully when I use the word pullback, it doesn't freak people out. But let's say there is a pullback. The question then becomes, what sorts of support levels do we have that we want to see the price hold at? This, and to be honest, I can't. Okay, this was a previous high from back in late May, early June, and this level is at 125. So the price closed right up here at 130. This is going to be your first support level. Now this is what I'd call the ideal support level, meaning ideally you'd like to see this one hold. That would be best case scenario, and that would make the chart probably look the best. But if it doesn't hold, by no means is there anything to freak out about, or to go jump off a bridge or anything like that. It's just ideally it looked good. I mean, because it's from here, but at the same time you need to remember. Actually, we need to move down some. Uh, you didn't close too far above it, so it wouldn't take much to close below it. So that is, like I said, what I'd call the ideal support level. The next support level comes into play right around this clump of highs right here, and actually it does a good job right here. This would be a gap close, and this level right here is about a $1.10. So this is going to be more of an important support level. But once again, let's say the price came down here and fell below that. Still nothing to panic from a short or from a longer term hold. Why would I say that? Let's say it fell below here and then put in a low right there. So this is the new low, even though it fell below this. What that would allow us to do is still say, okay, we had a low here, we had a low there, we had a low there. That is still an uptrend from an overall chart perspective. So in a nutshell, and from a kind of a longer term perspective, all we're looking to do right now is put in higher lows on any sort of pullback. These support levels are guides, but as long as you don't drop all the way down here, off and crash through these lows, then the chart's still going to be fine. I mean, you just want to make sure you're putting in higher lows. That's the main thing that I want to convey. So after these two support levels, then we start to get into the dynamic support levels, meaning they change over time. Mainly this guy right here, the 50-day and 200-day simple moving averages. I'll show you the one beautiful thing about the chart here. You can just see, look at the nice strength of the 200-day simple moving average. Clearly, the stock is in an uptrend long term, and besides just looking at the overall trend, it's easy to see that from about mid-May, the bulls really just took over the overall context of the chart and have been pushing it upwards, as can be seen by the increasing 50-day. You also have nice separation between these two guys, the 50-day and its bigger brother, the 200. The 50 is now increasing again, so on the longer term perspectives, all trends are firing, all bullish. So it's just a matter of, like I said, making sure you put in higher lows, and that'll ensure that these two moving averages keep increasing. So overall, good looking chart, and it's acting the way you'd want to see it. Putting in nice volume on up days. During consolidation, volume drops off. So from a longer term chart perspective, like I said, the reason I'm focusing on the long term is because I believe a lot of people are holding this for longer term. They're not just hopping in and out. So those the charts, it looks good, and I don't see anything that would make me worry about it. Sure, maybe in the short term you're going to go through a little short term pullback, but in the longer term picture, things are everything's looking strong and looking good. So if you do have any other questions on the chart, please shoot me a message, and I'd also encourage you to check out bullmarketnewsletter.net. If you go there and sign up for the free newsletter, you'll get a free ebook, which has been getting very good reviews, and then with your subscription you'll get chart setups, trade ideas, educational pieces, all sorts of things from penny stocks up to big boards. So there's a good variety, something for everybody, and the best part is it's all free, so it's definitely worth at least checking out. One more time, this was WAVX. Thanks for listening.